you can build a business or a brand hoping that it doesn't fail. And then you're always going to be wondering, well, what should I do? What's the best way to do this? What's everybody else doing? What are my competitors doing? That's building a business for the results. I want to be proud of everything, ridiculously proud of everything we do. The journey right now that I'm going through with Sheer Strength is I'm resurrecting this company, but I'll only resurrect this company to the direct proportion that I resurrect myself. Tomer, what's up, dude? Cheers. Let's do a simultaneous sip. This is a beer we found in my fridge.
Yeah, I was very surprised to find a beer in your fridge.
Yeah, well, it's a typical bachelor fridge right now where there's really nothing in it. There's basically condiments and beer.
I was surprised to find calories and alcohol in your fridge.
Yeah, and they have been in there. Those exact beers have been in there for like 5 or 6 months.
Yep.
This is my one beer of the quarter.
Half a beer.
That's true. We split this beer. This is the half a beer.
Yep.
That I'm having with you.
Good.
I saved it for you. That's why it's been in my fridge for like
Thank you.
4 months.
Yeah.
I've been saving it for when we finally get to talk about Sheer Strength.
Yep. That's the time.
I've been afraid to talk about Sheer Strength publicly.
Really? Why?
Yeah. Because of that voice in your head that says, what if you fail?
Mm-hmm.
You know, when in 2013, when I was starting the business with Matt, who cares? You know, it's just another thing you're trying.
Nothing to lose.
It's just the next thing that you're trying in a long career of entrepreneurship. It's the next thing I'm trying. But now it's like, well, I wrote a book about this project.
Yeah.
Right. I have a reputation for being successful doing this, so I can't fail.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to fail on this one. So I've had that little bit of over tenseness, that over gripping rather than the loose. Have you ever seen the movie Cool Runnings?
Cool Runnings.
There's 9 people listening to that. It was like, where in the world is he going? Like, he's talking about entrepreneurship. Cool Runnings over here. I watched this.
That's the half a beer.
That's the half a beer kicking in. It's a nootropic in microdoses. I actually saw that once. There was there's this company called there's a wine company called what's the organic wine company? Something Farms. It's like organic. Okay. Well, there's this organic wine company. They're like a butcher's box for wine. They send out like different kinds of wine. And inside there was like a insert, all the health benefits of wine. And one of them was enhances focus in microdoses.
Oh, yeah.
Who the F microdoses wine? Like, I took a shot of wine and now I'm a little bit focused.
Well, microdosing and focus is just buzzwords that they're using. So it's easy to do.
There it is.
All right.
Anyway,
so
Cool Runnings is this movie about Jamaican bobsledders in the 1980s. And there's a scene in which they make it to the Olympics and then they choke. And their coach is like, you made it here and you choked. You have got to find a way to loosen up out there. And so the next scene is them driving around singing songs about being a Jamaican bobsled team. And then they go out and they crush their next run. Right. And that's kind of, I'm still in the, like, I'm afraid to choke mode on Sheer Strength, where I'm like, oh no, like I'm gripping on. And when you're afraid to choke, you choke.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of working on like, how do I relax around this a little bit? Because really no one cares if I fuck this up.
So
right?
that's
the investors will, but
nobody
else
will. Yeah. As long as my audience is not disappointed in me. So that's an important question. So how do you loosen up and being excited of not necessarily the failure, but the journey, rather than being nervous about you failing?
2 things. One of them was something you said to me. I come back to something you said to me a long time ago, where we were still in the acquisition phase, and I was working closely with Sam on the acquisition, and I made some comment about it failing, and you said, "Well, you said something about like, how could it fail?" Like, but in a genuine question, where you were like, what's the worst case scenario? And I was like, it sells slowly.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, oh, well, the worst case scenario is that it sells slowly.
Yeah.
Okay, am I willing to accept that as a possible downside? And if so, then, you liquidate the inventory over time and you pay back your investors 50 cents on the dollar, right? And you say, I owe you one.
Yeah. And you write book number 2.
You're right. Yeah. So like that's not the worst thing that could happen. And then the other side of that is, okay, well, if you can accept that as a worst case scenario, what do you want to go down swinging doing?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're willing to accept that worst case scenario, what do you want to do with the shot you have? And I say, develop phenomenal products.
That's the upside.
Well, that's what I want to do, even if it fails.
Got it.
Right.
Okay.
So you can you can build a business or a brand hoping that it doesn't fail. And then you're always going to be wondering, well, what should I do? What's the best way to do this? What's everybody else doing? What are my competitors doing? That's building a business for the results. And to some extent, I did that with sheer strength the first time, but I was still really proud of everything we did. This time, I'm making that the priority, where I want to be proud of everything, ridiculously proud of everything we do. And so I want the products to be incredible. I want them to be excellent. I want them to be the heads and shoulders above everyone else who competes with us. And then, if we sell through the inventory slowly, I'll do it knowing that we did an unbelievable job at creating product and we did a great job at serving our customers.
Yeah.
That's so those are the two things that I sort of allow me to relax a little bit around the idea of the fact that I'm still kind of like about this brand.
I think it's very interesting because many people think that when you say you got to enjoy the process or you got to be excited about what you're building, most people say it in a very fluffy way, right? Just because that's what you should be saying, right? You should tell an entrepreneur or any business owner, you got to enjoy the process. But when you look at it from that perspective, you generally know that this is what also brings your success, right? Because you enjoy formulating products. So the products will be done the best way.
That's right.
For your audience. Or when you got to know your customer, you chose a customer that you are the customer.
That's right.
And with building a brand, you have so many options in succeeding when you do both of these things, right? You enjoy the process so you can go through the stress of failing or the stress of the day-to-day operations or whatever it is, because you really enjoy the process. You want to build a great product. And I love that. I mean, I love that you have decided that you're going to build great products, or you create great products for you and for people who look like you. And this is what will bring sheer strength success. And I think this is what rallied so many people to that vision.
It's funny being on this side of it, because that's exactly what I would say to you if we were flipped.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And even being in this, the version of me that is not in the picture knows you're right.
Yeah.
But being in the picture, I'm like, but did I do it right? Like, we all have it. Like we all go through it. The one thing that I did differently this time, though, is I doubled down on exactly that idea of my activities are 100% the things I want to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that is developing great product. Like, I formulated these products with professional formulators. And you've done this, like you did this with Switch.
Yeah.
But I am like pushing back against the formulator, and I'm pushing back against the manufacturer who is like, no, it'll be cheaper this way. And I'm like, I don't want it to be cheaper. I want it to be better. I actually didn't yell at a manufacturer, but one of the formulators sent me back the first draft of the testosterone booster. And I said, this looks like something that you would just find on Amazon. And he was like, yeah. I was like, I don't want to do this product or any product unless it is heads and shoulders the best product that has ever been developed. And he was like, oh, you want to do that? He was like, I get it. And he said, most of the people I work with just want us to put stuff in capsules and send it out the door. And I was like, no, my target cost of goods is under, and then I said the number, and he was like, oh, you want to be that good?
Mm-hmm. Do you feel that's different than sheer V1?
Well, the process is the same. Sheer V1, Matt did all the formulations, but it was always you develop a dream formula and then you make it economical. So Matt did it differently than me, but Matt would go and develop the most unbelievable product that hit the target effect from every different angle. And, it would be 7 capsules and cost $25. And then he would cut it down to, what it needed to be. Mine's a little bit different, where I'm looking at studies to find the effective dose. I'm putting together my ideal formula, like what I know would be best ever made. And I know with 100% certainty that this is going to have the intended effect. And then I'm trying to get it into as few capsules as possible, to where it's like, okay, this ingredient actually isn't as important to me. We can cut this in half because that'll build up in the system over time. I am more like chincing around the edges, but I still have 100% certainty that it's the best in the world. And so anyway, I love doing that process, and I love working my network. So I did a capital raise for this one, and I've been networking with people that I want to bring into the business as influencers and partners. And we have 3, and they're world-class people. One is a medical doctor, my personal medical doctor with, the lab coat with the authority. One is a chiropractor with 1.4 million Instagram followers. And one is one of our incubator grads who now has a 20,000 person following that is directly targeted for exactly who we're trying to be. I mean, his brand is called Superhuman Fathers. So
sounds about right.
Yeah, right. So I'm staying in my zone, which is like product on this, and vision and marketing and relationships. But I am not going to, I hate our Amazon listing so much, Tomer. It's so bad. It looks so sheer strength V1, but after the private equity group sank it. Like, I mean, it looks so bad. But I'm like,
but that's before we optimized them, right? We just inherited them.
Yeah, we're correct. Yeah, we just inherited them, and they look awful. And I know we need to update them, but I'm not going to get around to it. So eventually I'll ask Gabe to spearhead that as a project. But I know it's not going to make or break the business right now, because my focus is on product and relationships and vision. And my vision for it is so much bigger than being on Amazon. Mm-hmm. So it would be a mistake for me to come out of what we're building long-term to focus on the short-term thing. I just know eventually it's all going to take care of itself.
So tell me more about that. What is your big vision that is beyond Amazon?
Yeah.
And a question that I'm wondering. So for Switch, for example, it's very easy to tell if your products are working or not, right? If I'm taking Kill Switch and I'm not sleeping well, or if I'm not, feeling energized with On Switch, when you're so convicted about those products for Sheer, how do you make sure that all of the other people, the customers who are not as experts as Ryan, know that these are the best products for them and are willing to pay 3 times more than any other product?
You have to give them proof in some way. So right before we hit record, Alex over here was saying, oh, we could put nitric oxide strips to be able to test nitric oxide levels. I've thought about that in the past. You can just show the difference. Take this for a week, then test your nitric oxide levels. You can do it with your saliva. Test them before and after. Watch the difference. Can you demonstrate it? And the second is you pre-frame what they will experience. So with nitric oxide, or at least ours, what you'll notice is that when you're in the gym, when you're done, you feel like you still have something left in the tank. The way Gabe described it was that usually he's toast after he does weights, but now he does cardio afterwards because he still has some left in the tank. So that's how you know something like nitric oxide is working. You also can feel nitric oxide working in other parts of your body. Let's just say that Viagra is a prescription nitric oxide booster.
Not a quote by Ryan.
Yeah, right. I mean, you can. That's a Googleable fact. Yeah. I mean, that's what happens. Is you take Viagra, it's a prescription nitric oxide booster specifically for one effect.
Yeah.
But when you just increase natural nitric oxide levels, that impacts the same thing that Viagra does, but it also works for workouts, for overall energy, for heart health. These claims have not been reviewed by the FDA. I am not a medical doctor. Do not believe anything that I say on the internet. I am an idiot that you follow on the internet.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
But that's how you show the effect with something like
got it.
With sheer strength. Your first question was, what's the vision beyond Amazon?
Yeah.
So, I wrote my book on this dumb math formula. 4 products times 25 sales is 100 sales a day times $30 is $3,000 a day. That's $1 million business. And a bunch of people have gone and built $1 million businesses because they're like, oh, that's all it takes. Well, my new math formula, not publicly, but like for sheer, is for every 500 people that we put on auto ship at $200 a month, that's $1 million. So 500 times $200 a month, $100,000 a month, which is $1 million a year. So 500 people, I could have $1 million business with 500 people at really attractive profit margins. So how do 500 people?
Mm-hmm.
I could cold call 500 people.
Yeah.
So to be able to know that such a low number of people equals $1 million business. I like that a lot. Mm-hmm. So how do I build the systems to put 500 people on auto ship? That's not the final number. I'd like to have 10,000 people on auto ship because that would be a $25 million business, which would be twice what sheer strength was at its peak before.
Mm-hmm.
At higher profit margins because it would be auto ship. So, okay. If you put all of your energy and all your focus into putting people on auto ship, well, what do you do then? Okay, well, that means that I need to be really good at turning Amazon buyers into raving fans, email addresses. I gotta be really good at that. I gotta be willing to break even on Amazon after ad costs, after team. Like, can I just break even on Amazon because Amazon's getting me 1,000 buyers a day,
mm-hmm.
and I can convert 5 to 10% of them into raving ass fans and long-term followers. I'm getting pumped up talking about this right now. So can I sell 1,000 units a day with no profit? Now, at a $30 or $40 price point, what is that? That's a $10 million business, 1,000 sales a day. Am I willing to make no money on that $10 million just to build up a giant raving fan base and customer list? And if I am, then minimum, I'm going to add 50 raving fans a day,
mm-hmm.
which is $1,500 a month. Can I put half of them on auto ship? And then can I run ads? So that's just Amazon. Like, can I put a small percentage of people from Amazon into upsells for auto ship just with elbow grease and hard work? And then secondary to that, we're writing this book. I partnered with 2 of our influencers to write this book. It's called From Dad Bod to Father Figure. It's engineering the new alpha leader. That's not a bad tag. That's not a bad tagline. Engineering the new, what did I say?
You're ambitious. Alpha leader.
The new alpha leader.
Yeah.
The new American alpha There's something there. That's pretty good. But the book is called From Dad Bod to Father Figure, and we're going to build up a book funnel. And these two influencers will promote it because their face is all over it. I'll promote it. We'll run advertising for it with the target of breaking even so that we have a customer list coming off of Amazon. And those two segments are going to be marketed for the auto ship as our core central product. It'll probably have 5 products in it. So your average price point is $40 a month for each of those, $200 a month. Can I put 10,000 people on auto ship doing that? If I can, I don't know if I can, but if I could, then that becomes, $25 million business just from the auto ship. And then you have Amazon and you have upsells and cross sells and all the other stuff. But like, I'm just thinking about the subscription revenue because that is legitimately a business that could be sold for, $50 to $100 million.
So I know the math behind your vision, and to me the numbers are just so exciting. But if I go back to our previous episode when we talked about Switch and we're talking about the grind, I am curious to know, what does the grind look like for you? Because we've been working together on, like, I've seen you replying to emails so fast when it's about one word with a sheer landing page copy or this one line at the design for the box. And like, you're really into the small details of everything that is going on. But on the other hand, you have this huge vision that you are leading. So how does the grind look like for you into getting the first 500 sales or 25 sales per day?
Yeah, well, I mean, we launched the new product, the first new product, like 3 weeks ago. And so honestly, I'm still figuring that out. Mm-hmm. Because I showed up, we had our Monday meeting, and I found out that the product had launched and I didn't even know. I thought it was delayed several weeks. And I was like, wait, the product's live? And I immediately got super anxious because I'm like, now I got to figure out how to do this. I got to get this thing moving, and I'm going to fail and everybody's going to know it. And I'm going to lose all my investors' money. And it was like, that was the brain train that my brain went on when I found out we launched. So I was like, okay, well, I have some mental junk there. So let's back up here. And usually, as counterintuitive as this is, when I go on one of those like chaotic brain routes, I know it's better to do nothing. So I kind of backed up and I was like, all right, what's actually important for me to do right now? And honestly, the most important thing for me to do right now is to build the book funnel with these two influencers. It's not the best thing short term. Like, the best thing short term would be for me to be working with Gabe on our team, to be building our review funnels, and for me to be posting every day, and for me to be gathering testimonials and doing all that stuff. But I'm not. I'm focused on building this book funnel. Mm-hmm. And that's because that's actually where my heart, my focus is for this project. Amazon will work. Like, if you have a good product with good reviews and you advertise off of Amazon, Amazon's going to work. Now, for somebody who's never built a business before, you need to go through the grind of like getting the first 25 reviews and posting them on, you need to do all that stuff. But in my case, the real focus of this is going to be that acquisition funnel that is the book funnel. And we're going to be a premium brand on Amazon. So I'm not in a hurry. The other thing though, Tomer, is I know that at the peak of sheer strength V1, our nitric oxide supplement did like 150 to 200 sales a day. Mm-hmm. Today it gets like, when we inherited the company, it was getting like 15 sales a day. Like the thing just died. Yeah. So being back in the grind, it's like, I know now that we have the best nitric oxide supplement in the world again, I know that this becomes 200 sales a day. And it was so interesting when I posted about it on my own personal social media, and our BSR skyrocketed on Amazon. We got a bunch of Amazon sales. It was like, okay. Oh yeah, that still works.
Yeah.
Still works. I'm documenting the journey and it still works. Oh, maybe I should do that more often. Yeah. Oh, good. I wasn't a scam artist on that piece of advice. So my grind is like working on the book, documenting my journey, developing good products, and then working with Gabe on systems for reviews and like boring stuff. Just boring stuff.
Is it boring for you?
Some of it is. Like, it takes a lot of energy for me to sit down and think, what are we going to do with this Amazon listing? So right now I just don't, right? Eventually it will be enough of a priority for me to sit down with Gabe and be like, hey, let's pay somebody the $1,500 to redo this.
Yeah.
Who do you recommend? Because this looks terrible. And I actually just had someone reach out to me and said, hey, I worked for Sheer Strength under the private equity group doing product photos. I'd love to do them for you, like the first round for free. Okay, great, cool. Nostalgia project for both of us. So I'll bring them in and we'll put it together as a project. But my initial reaction when I took over Sheer was like, there's so much chaos. I got to jump into all of it and I got to fix this. And the social media account is neglected. And I was just like, oh God. And then I was just like, no, I can't do it. Let's go back to the one thing, which is develop a great product. And we developed that product and we launched it. And it's doing like 10 to 15 sales a day, but it's gathering momentum and it's growing in its ranking. And we're running pay-per-click ads. We're starting, and Gabe this month is building up some review systems. And product 2, I saw today, is ready to be paid for. It's ready to be shipped. And it's a fat burner and it's fantastic and it's going to be great. And then we're going to go and we're just start to build the system.
Are you excited about it?
Yeah, I'm equally worried about it though. I'm still in my head about it. Like, I'm not like fully relaxed and let's go. I'm nervous. Like, this matters to me.
Mm-hmm. Does this matter to you because you owned the company previously and you sold it?
No, because I have ego wrapped up in it.
Yeah.
What are people going to think if it doesn't work? Are they going to think I'm an idiot? Are they going to think I'm a failure? Am I going to and now, Tomer, this is a horrible choice of words, but I've had half a beer. I see that you've been nursing your beer over there.
Right, yeah.
It reminds me of how you nursed the root beer last time.
No, this one I like. I generally like.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can tell by you nursing it. I
want to be the responsible host here.
The horrible choice of words is I've been on a losing streak. Losing streak. I got my shit rocked the last couple of years. Yeah. COVID twice, cancer, thyroid disease, a Ponzi scheme.
Mm-hmm. A lot. Yeah.
I went through some shit. And I for a long time, I felt like gun shy. I was like waiting for the next shoe to drop because I had just been through and long COVID shit and all the stuff that happens in your brain when you have long COVID and just wreck. So like I'm not back to the point yet where I'm just like I feel like I have the golden touch. I more feel like I have the touch of poo. Mm. So like I have a little bit of that mental junk going on, but this is the good news. I'm now moved into a neutral place where I don't care as much.
Hmm.
And
you don't care about what?
I don't care about making it this big thing so that everybody can see that I still got it and they know what I'm doing. And, I wasn't a scam artist after all. Yeah. Like, I whatever. I don't care. I don't care so much anymore. Right. It's like, that's just my own internal perspective on it. So no one's not that many people are going to care if I win big, and not that many people are going to care if I lose. Yeah. The only thing that matters is if I care. And so the less I care about what I look like, the more that I'm actually able to do quality work.
Yeah.
And quality work is making great product, bringing great relationships, being good to customers, and then you let the chips fall where they're going to fall. Like if there's the chance exists that you do everything right and the company still fails, does that mean you're a failure? You did it all right. Timing could have been poor. The economy could have been poor. Team could have been poor. Like, it's your fault, but are you a failure? Right? So now I'm just like, I feel like I've failed enough now to where it's like, I know what that's like.
Yeah.
So I might as well, like,
You
either
dealt with it
way,
already.
want to do things that you're proud of anyway. And whenever somebody buys, you're like, yeah, that's going to make a meaningful difference in your life.
So what do you care about? Is it about making good product? Is it about raving reviews? Going through it personally? Why do you do it? I would ask this. And feel free to answer the most selfish answer as you can.
Well, you're going to have to ask me that in a few months. And the reason is because I posted this on Twitter a couple days ago. When I started Sheer Strength the first time with Matt, we were both hard single guys, hard gainers trying to add some muscle. Fast forward today, he decided not to be involved this time, but we're both fathers, 35, don't care as much about being the biggest dude in the room. We just want to be fit fathers. And when I bought Sheer Strength, I had just had my ego set on fire. You know, I had gone through such a hard time that I, like, you know, no ego's dead. You know, some people's egos die in a psychedelic experience. Mine died because I got my shit wrong.
When you buy a supplement company.
Yeah.
Sounds similar. Yeah.
And so I posted on Twitter this week. I ordered my first product on Amazon, meaning I ordered the first Sheer Strength product on Amazon as a customer. It was super cool. And I said that I'm kind of resurrecting this project from the ground, but I also feel like I'm resurrecting my own life. There's like the journey right now that I'm going through with Sheer Strength is I'm resurrecting this company, but I'll only resurrect this company to the direct proportion that I resurrect myself. So I am the avatar that I want to serve. Dads who are going through a fitness journey. That means that I need to be a dad on a fitness journey. My purpose in this is that if you put a dad on that journey and you give them that self-confidence again, they'll be better leaders, which means I need to be a better leader. And if they are leaders of their families, that means that they're a better example to their kids, which means I need to be a better example to my kids. So if I fail at those things, then the company will fail. But if I do those things well, then the company has a chance at succeeding. And so right now, I'm viewing it like Sheer is a reclamation project. But personally, the more that I go through the grind of it, I'm also reclaiming myself because I feel like I was in the ashes and I'm trying to rise like the phoenix. Mm-hmm. And so this is a, you know, Sheer right now is kind of a personal journey as well.
Yeah.
And so when I'm documenting the journey, I'm not documenting it from the perspective of, you know, here's what nitric oxide will do for your body. I'm documenting it from the journey of like, I don't want to get up at 5:30 today, but I'm doing it anyway. I don't want to work out right now, but I'm at the gym. My kids drove me nuts, but I'm with them. Yeah. Why? Because first of all, that's who I want to be, but also that's what I think the world needs more of. And that is what Sheer Strength is there to empower Therefore, I must be that kind of leader.
Yeah.
And I am still in that transformation. I'm still going through that. Yeah. And so the grind is also a personal grind. And my selfish reason is like, I don't know. I don't get to have that yet. Ask me in a few months.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. I am interested to know, most of your audience we were talking about building $25, $50 million brands.
Yeah.
Most of your audience are still grinding their way or dreaming
Great,
of.
me too.
Or just dreaming to build $1 million business.
Yeah.
Right. So what can someone learn from or take from your journey with Sheer, given that it is well-financed, it's well-funded, it got some customer base, pretty big one, and you're a seasoned entrepreneur that has, that built that same company before. So what lessons can they take, or how should they watch your journey so they can implement it themselves? Not the tactics, obviously, but more of, I think, however you want to take it.
Well, one, new level, new devil. The bigger you get, the bigger your doubts get.
Mm-hmm.
But also the next level you want to get to requires a different level of commitment, and nobody gets to skip that. A lot of people will look at me, who's had, I'm 35. I've had I'd say an average entrepreneurial career at best. Like, I've been an average entrepreneur. And people who are, and by the way, like, an average entrepreneur is still more successful than most. I don't mean that as like a slam to myself. Yep. Just like average entrepreneur. That some people who are at the beginning of their journey will say it must be nice to be that far ahead.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get to skip anything. If I skip anything, the companies fail. And so the minute you can just you realize that it never ends. It's always going to be hard. It's always going to be chaotic. And you've got to choose if you like that or not. Like, that's the destination.
Yeah.
It's the journey and the destination.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get to take breaks, and sometimes you have outsized returns on your projects, but there's no like pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It's just being in it. The beauty in that is, like, once you surrender to being in it, you can create whatever you want. You can make it whatever type of company you want it to be. When you think that it's got a destination like 100 sales a day or $10 million exit, like, these are things that I tell people are possible and are the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. But when you're doing that, you're often looking for, what's the path that will take me there that has worked for other people, and I'll just model that. But when you realize that there's no time in which it's all like roses. If you just accept that you're in it and there is no actual path, you get to create whatever you want. And for me at Sheer, that's like realizing, like, people think I'm an Amazon guy. I actually don't know dick about Amazon. Like, I have trouble when I log in. I'm like, where's my sales dashboard? Like, I don't know. Right? But I get super excited about this book funnel because I know, like, that is going to just change lives.
Mm-hmm.
And the more that you can really tune in what you want that to be, and you create around that, some really cool stuff can happen. And so the thing that I would give to somebody is just realizing, like, it's always going to be an evolution. You can create whatever you want. And the more that you can build around what it is that you actually want, likely the more successful you'll be.
I think that's a great way to wrap.
And taking on switch helps a lot.
Yeah.
Or
drinking beer or C4, whatever it is that you're doing.
You know what's funny, Tomer, is I legitimately take all my own supplements.
Yep.
Which makes it a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Like that, like, I mean, I've been in the supplement game for a long time, but I really enjoy being in that world. And there's a lot of people say, like, I don't believe in supplements. Well, that's because you develop shitty supplements.
Or you buy shitty supplements.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, depending on what you're going for, they work.
Yeah.
You know, like taking fish oil is good for triglyceride levels.
Yeah. But that's it.
Taking vitamin D is good for vitamin D levels.
Yeah.
And when you take either certain blends of certain herbs, it makes this thing change. So I legitimately take them all, like on switch, kill switch, our nitric oxide booster, our fat burner that we just developed, the testosterone booster, like they all work. And I genuinely enjoy doing them, which makes it a lot more fun. I think I might be drunk because I had half a beer.
Well, that's the strong one. Is that a 12%?
No, that was
no,
that wasn't even the strong beer. That was like a 5%.
Luckily, I haven't taken mine since I need to be the responsible adult here in the house.
It's funny being on this side of the mic, you know, because I'm usually the one asking the questions. And since I'm talking about my own experience, it's like, oh, I don't even like know what someone will take away from this because I'm just sharing my own experience.
Yeah.
But I think those stories, I think just sharing, like when you're in the thick of it, when you're in the grind, that is the whole transformation. That is when somebody can get that no one gets to skip the grind and you just have to go through it. Like anybody can do it.
Yeah.
If they're just willing to accept that it's hard.
It's just that the grind could be for someone or some business. It could be getting to the first $1,000 a day. And for some businesses, it could be, you know, getting to the first $1 million a year, right? When you're more funded, when you're bigger, you inherited a company that's already have sales and customers. So your grind is getting to the next level.
Well, for full disclosure, when we acquired the company, you know, I think we might be doing 40K or 50K a month now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 50K, like it's not like it was super profitable. It's not like I bought it for one reason. It's because it was my old company. It was like I sold my dog to a bad home and I found out it was being abused. So I took my dog back. It's like, I'm really busy, but I will love you.
I will take care of you.
I will take care of you, yeah. And so I think we might be doing a pacing like 50K a month now that we've launched the new product. So it's not like it was, the $1 million is still a milestone for us again. We'll just probably get there faster than most brands because we had a little bit of a launch pad to go.
Yeah, but it's still just crossing or stepping up. That's
totally.
The thing. Just stepping up from what you know.
That's right.
So that's the real grind. It's not even about a number. It's just overcoming the previous level that you've been on, whether it's personally or as a business.
That's right. 100%.
I take that.
Yeah. Good stuff, man.
That's great.
Next time, let's talk about the project we're doing with that influencer.
Ooh, I like that teasing.
Yeah, because we got a big influencer relationship, and we've been really leveling up our game with the influencers that we have been working with.
Yeah,
I've got a big one with Sheer.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a big one with this other project.
Yeah,
we have a big one we're talking with for Switch.
Yeah.
So like we've really upped our game in terms of the influencers that we build relationships with.
Yeah.
And based on some of the stats we saw today on that one project that we're
that one influencer
right now with that one influencer, we had like 2,000 opt-ins in 2 hours.
We are probably past 3,000 in just like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah. So we're averaging on average 1,000 opt-ins per hour. We're on pace for 24,000 opt-ins today.
Yep.
Because it's been 3 hours, 3,000 opt-ins.
Of course.
We're doing some pretty cool stuff. Let's talk about that next time.
All right,
man.
I'll be here.
Thanks for watching, everybody. You are watching or listening to The Road to 1 Million from capitalism.com. And I just dropped into podcast voice for no apparent reason because I forgot that I'm just hanging out with Tomer here and I thought I was recording something professionally. Well, this is weird.
Just getting drunk and recording podcasts. Just the usual.
All right. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe. See ya. Bye.